Thank you, Cheryl. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum. Greetings of peace and a pleasant afternoon to everyone. I shall be discussing this afternoon the Philippine halal raw material supply conditions. And in market analysis, raw materials are considered as producers or intermediate demand for inputs that are processed into some semi-finished or finished products. And this is really part of the value chain analysis. My presentation is composed of 6 parts. The first part is a brief discussion on the need to promote halal products in the context of world demand and globalization. This will be followed by a short review of the concepts and definition of halal, although this has been touched on by several speakers before me. And then I will continue with the main content of my topic, which is the raw material supply of halal products in the Philippines. After which, I will cite the production and preparation processes of halal products and the issues related to them. Finally, I will present some recommendations to address these issues. On the increasing global need for halal food. According to the United States Census Bureau, the world population has grown to around 6.5 billion as of this month. Although Muslims do not comprise the majority of the Philippine population, and that is placed at between 5 million to 6 million, increasing globalization has placed the country in contact with the rest of the world, whose Muslim population has reached around 1.823 billion people, or roughly 28% of the world population. Majority of the 1.8 billion Muslims are in the Organization of Islamic Countries, or OIC member countries. And according to the Agriculture Business Week, it is estimated that 70% of all Muslims adhere to the restrictions favoring halal, resulting to a global market worth $580 billion in 2005. According to Dr. Sheman of the University Putra, Malaysia, global halal food trade is estimated at a staggering $347 billion annually. And the increasing awareness of Muslim consumers on their religious obligations creates demand for halal food and other consumer products. More than that, I believe that the promotion of halal products should not concern the Muslims alone, but should also be the concern of all people around the world who in recent years have developed a serious concern for healthy living. Halal, as we all know, is simply clean and healthy living. And there is therefore a lucrative market out there with huge opportunities for halal food business through domestic as well as international trade. And tapping just a small portion of this halal market can mean a lot to Filipino food exporters. But what exactly is halal? Now, halal is an Arabic term which means anything permissible under Islam. It is something that is free of substance from forbidden animals and other filthy or najis substances according to Sharia or the Islamic law. In non-Arabic speaking countries, the term is commonly used in the narrower context of just Muslim dietary laws, especially where meat and poultry are concerned. Now, what is the coverage of halal? Halal is a complete system as it places emphasis not just on the product itself, but how these products are processed or how these products are prepared, including the ingredients that are added to it. Halal food is suitable for all mankind and not just for Muslims. And many people think this to be just a religious requirement, but in fact, it encompasses, aside from the religious requirement, it focuses on how the raw materials, particularly animals, are being slaughtered, and whether the ingredients are themselves halal, and therefore the hygienic or the health requirement is also important. Now, according to the ASEAN General Guidelines on the preparation and handling of halal food is any food that does not contain components or products of animals that are unlawful as food to Muslims. Now, this portion have already been, I think, discussed, and let me proceed now to the sources of halal food and drink. The sources of halal food and drinks are coming from land animals principally, except of course from pigs, dogs, carnivorous animals with fangs, and animals with claws that are being used for catching prey. Now, animals and insects permitted and forbidden to be killed in Islam, and the animals and insects that are generally considered repulsive. Now, animals living only in water are also considered halal food sources, unless they are poisonous and harmful. Now, the same can be said for plants that are also poisonous and therefore harmful to health. Now, on the other hand, halal drinks are all forms of fluids or water except those that are poisonous, intoxicating, and harmful to human health. Now, let me show you now some of the available raw materials for halal food in the Philippines. And the following slides will show you the possible raw material supply for halal food in the country. Now, let me just give a caveat to this presentation. I would like to emphasize that the data on production or supply of raw materials presented here are to be treated as potential sources in the absence of a separate accounting or tracking system for halal goods or products under the current Philippine statistical system. Now, perhaps this could be one policy advocacy area by the concerned agencies, such as the National Statistics Coordination Board, the National Statistics Office, the Department of Agriculture, the Department of Trade and Industry, including the Office of Muslim Affairs, among others. Now, having said that, these raw materials can become halal if found compatible with the definition and processes laid down by Islamic law. Okay, so we're looking at the possible halal raw material supply in the Philippines that would include livestock, of course, discounting swine, poultry, fish, vegetables, and some selected high-value crops. No data on sheep production, however, is available. And a large majority of